You know what the biggest lie baseball teams tell fans is? That versatile players are a luxury. But when a franchise releases an athlete who can play 5 different positions, and another one rushes to grab him in less than 48 hours, something much bigger is happening. And what just happened between 2 American League and National League teams isn't about versatility. It's about survival. On Thursday, an organization that spent $155 million on a power hitter just made a move nobody expected. And this move exposes a truth every front office knows, but none will publicly admit. When you build $1 million roster, there's one type of player worth more than any star. And that player just got released by a team that went to the National League Finals 2 years ago. What I'm about to reveal isn't about statistics. It's about the mistake that can cost an entire season. And the question you need to answer by the end of this video is, why is a team that just spent a fortune on reinforcements desperate for someone another team threw away? We're talking about 31 years old. We're talking about 103 career games. We're talking about a hitter who had a slash line of .242, .328, .428 over 3 seasons. Mediocre numbers, right? Wrong. Because when you look at his last season, you see .198, .282, .369. A brutal drop. So why the hell is a team that just signed Pete Alonso, brought in Taylor Ward, re-signed Zach Eflin, closed with Ryan Helsley, rushing to grab this guy? The answer is hidden in one word no mainstream analyst is saying, and that word changes everything. But before I reveal it, if you want to understand the moves that really matter in baseball, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell, because what I'm about to show you is the kind of analysis the teams themselves don't want you to understand. Let's get to the facts. An athlete who played first base, second base, third base, left field, and right field. 5 positions. 5. And here's the first sign. He's out of minor league options. That means if he doesn't impress in spring training, he's getting released again. So why take that risk? Because there's something that happened behind the scenes during the offseason that nobody's connecting. The Orioles released a left-handed pitcher named Jose Suarez to make room. A guy who had a 1.86 ERA in 19.1 innings for the Braves last season. A pitcher who was dominating, and they cut him to pick up a declining hitter who just got released. That doesn't make sense unless it does. Here's what the Orioles know that you don't know yet. When you spend $155 million on a first baseman like Pete Alonso, you're not just buying home runs. You're buying a problem, because now you have a player who can only play one position. And if he gets hurt, if he goes into a bad hitting streak, if he needs a day off against a specific pitcher, you need someone who can step in anywhere on the field, someone who won't complain, someone who will accept sitting on the bench for 10 straight games and then step into right field on the 11th game like he's a starter. And that someone just got released by the Phillies. But here's the loop that's still open. Why did the Phillies release him? The official answer is simple. They re-signed JT Realmuto. They needed roster space. End of story. But what if I told you there's a second reason? A reason that has to do with what happened behind the scenes during the winter. A reason involving how Philadelphia is building their roster for 2026. Think about it. The Phillies went to the National League Finals in 2022. Since then, they've been desperately trying to get back. And this past offseason, they made very specific decisions. They didn't go after versatility. They went after specialization. Players who do one thing better than anyone. And when you build a team like that, players like Weston Wilson become expendable. But the Orioles are building the opposite. They want options. They want flexibility. They want to be able to change the lineup every day without needing to make a trade or call someone up from the minors. And that brings us to the second loop. What do the Orioles know about the 2026 season that we don't? Because if you look at their moves, there's a pattern. Taylor Ward, Pete Alonso, Shane Baz, Ryan Helsley, all these guys are stars, but Weston Wilson isn't. He's the guy who allows the stars to shine. Because when you have a strong bench, you can give your starters days off. You can manage workloads. You can prevent injuries. And here's the third loop. What happens if Wilson surprises everyone in spring training? Because let's be honest, .198 batting average last season is terrible. But what if that number was the result of irregular use? What if he never got the chance to get into a rhythm? What if, with consistent opportunities, he returns to the .242 numbers he had in his career? The Orioles are betting on it. They're betting that a 31-year-old player released twice in 6 months still has something to offer. And if they're right, this could be the smartest signing of the offseason, not because he's going to be an all-star, but because he's going to be invisible. And in modern baseball, the best bench players are the ones you forget are there until the moment you need them. But what if they're wrong? Then they just wasted a roster spot that could have gone to a young prospect. They released a pitcher who was dominating, and they admitted to the entire world that despite all the millions spent, they're still afraid they don't have enough depth. Now, the loops are closing. Here's the truth. Weston Wilson isn't about statistics. He's about insurance. The Orioles are preparing for a season where everything can go wrong. Injuries, bad streaks, suspensions. And when that happens, they don't want to be desperate making calls to teams asking for emergency trades. They want to have the solution already in the clubhouse. And the answer to the question that opened this video: why is a team that spent a fortune desperate for someone another team threw away? Because versatility isn't luxury, it's necessity. And the Orioles learned the hard way in 2025 that you can have all the stars in the world, but if you don't have options on the bench, you'll lose when it matters most. Now tell me, do you think Weston Wilson will prove the Phillies made a mistake, or did the Orioles just waste a roster spot? Leave it in the comments.